everyone, welcome to the next session on operations research. In this session, we will take up a numerical on the topic of sequencing model. This is type 3, processing 2 jobs through M machines. Using graphical method, determine the optimal sequence needed to process jobs 1 and 2 on 5 machines. So here you can see there are 2 jobs 1 and 2 and they are being processed on 5 machines. That is why the problem of 2 jobs through M machines. And the machines are A, B, C, D and E. So you can see here there are 5 machines. For each machine, find the job which should be done first. So we need to figure out for each machine which job you are going to allocate first. Also calculate the total time needed to complete both the jobs. So here we can see a given data of job whose sequence is given and the time in hours is given for a particular machine. Same way is given for job 2, the sequence and the time. You can see both these sequences are different. Now we are going to use graphical method as it is mentioned in the question. So we are going to make use of a graph. Now in the first question that we are going to solve, I am using a plain ruled paper. As you can see, I have drawn the rules on it for showing you. You can use a graph paper. The next problem I will show you using a graph paper. Here I am showing you that in case you don't have a graph paper, what you can do. So here you can definitely find out. So here I have used a blank page on which I have drawn a particular scale. Here the scale is 1 centimeter, that you can see is 1 hour's time. So you can use the same on a graph paper. So I will write the scale on x-axis and on the y-axis. 1 centimeter is 1 hour's time that you are seeing over here. Each difference is of 1 centimeter and each difference is showing 1 hour time. Now the first thing that you need to do is on the x-axis always you should plot job 1. On the y-axis always you will plot job 2. So these two things you need to mark. Now I have given this scale because of the time that I saw over here. The summation, if you add all of this, it is 2 plus 2, 4 and 8. This becomes 12. Here this is 5 and 3, 8, 8, 4, 12, 14, 15. So if the summation is approximately 12 or 15, you can use a graph paper and you can use the scale of 1 centimeter is 1 hour. If the time exceeds this and it becomes quite greater, like in the next problem, we will use a scale accordingly. So now I am going to plot here. Before that, you need to mark something. For job 1 on the x-axis, you will have to mark these timing. Like you can see here, A is indicating 1 hour, B is indicating 2 hours, C is indicating 3 hours. So accordingly, I will plot over here. So the first 0 to 1 is indicating A, because the time is 1. Next timing is 2. So from 1 to 3, this timing is for B. C is indicating 3 hours. So up to 6, I'll mark C and accordingly I'll mark for the rest too. So you can see here A, B, C, D, E. I have marked based on the timing and the maximum value is 12 as I have added. So it comes up to 12. Now I'll do the same for the vertical axis. We should remember that this is job 2. So we will start from 0. The first one is C and it is up to 3. So this is C. Next is 4. This is A. Then you have 2. This is D. Then you have 1 for E. And finally 5. That means up to 15 is for B. So I'll just label them. First one is C. Then I have A. Then I have D, E and B. So I have marked this. Now what you need to do is you need to draw rectangles indicating the time. Now how do I draw that? I have already marked everything here. I need to just trace it back. So if you see on the x-axis, here the value of a is 0, 1. A over here is 3 to 7. So I will draw a rectangle here. So this is the rectangle. So this is my A, and I will show it using hatching line. Next I'll draw for B. B is here 1 to 3, and here B is from 10 to 15. So this is the point where I'm going to start. So I'll just mark the 4 points for the rectangle 10 to 15, and here it is again from 3, 1 to 3 is the position. So you just have to draw a rectangle for B. You can draw with dotted lines here to indicate from where it is starting and where it is ending. So this is B. Again you can draw hatching line here. Next I'll draw for C. C is from 3 to 6 here, and here C is exactly at the bottom. So from here 0 to 3. So I will draw here again. I'll draw hatching line. Next is for D. D is from 6 to 11, and here D is over here 7 to 9. So this is the point 9, this is the point 7, and D is up to 11. So I'll mark here, and this is a rectangle. And last is E. E is from 11 to 12, and here it is from 9 to 10. So this is the block for E. Now I have drawn for all of them. I'll just draw the dotted lines. These dotted lines just help you trace your positions. Now comes the important part. Next, what you need to do is you need to draw a particular line which will start from this origin O, and this should touch one corner of the job. And this line which we are drawing is a 45-degree line. So I will draw a 45-degree line from here. You see that this will be a 45-degree line up to this end. So this is touching this end, but I cannot stop the line here. This line will go further up to some point somewhere on this, and then you can see here this line can be traced down of D. So this is another tracing that we have done over here, and then this will again go up to the finish point. Now finish point is very simple. It is the point where this y-axis has the highest value, that is 15, and this x-axis has the highest value. This is at 12. So from E, I will trace a line up to 15 with the help of dotted lines only. And from here also, I'll draw a dotted line such that I'm able to trace that point. This point is, say, labeled as Z. This is the finish point. So here I'll write down finish. This O is the origin, and you have drawn a straight line. So this straight line of 45 degree is touching on this vertical line. So let me call this as X. It is again halting over here, and then from here again you will draw a straight line up to Z. What you should do is you should draw a 45 degree line all the time. So this is also 45 degree. This is say point Y. Now you should know that this inclined line is indicating that both the jobs are being done. Like you can see here at this position when I have drawn. Why did I stop here? Because from 0 to 1 my first job is being done. You can see here A is occupied. Again, if you go from this position to this position, B is being done. From here to here, again C is being done. So your machines are not idle. At this time, your machines are under work. When you see a line, this will indicate idle time for job 1 because there is no job being done on the x-axis, but on the y-axis there is some job being done. So this distance x to y, if you want you can write here xy is indicating idle time for job 1. Wherever there is a vertical line, it will indicate idle time for the horizontal axis, that is the job 1. And if you have a horizontal line somewhere, say it is not here, but if at all you have to draw a horizontal line to reach up to this point, then we say that job 2 is idle. Currently you have only idle time for job 1, and we can also calculate how much is this time. It is from 6 to 9, which is also of 3 hours. You can see here. So this from 6 to 9 is nothing but your xy. This is your idle time for job 1. So you can write over here, it is the idle time for job 1, and this 45 degree line indicates that both the jobs are being simultaneously done. Both are occupied, they are not having idle time. So once you have drawn this graph, now you will have to calculate the total elapsed time. So I will write here total elapsed time is equal to, when you look at the job 1, you can see that it is taking 12 hours plus it has idle time of 3 hours. So the total elapsed time is 12 plus 3, that is 15 hours. This is considering job 1, and the total elapsed time for job 2, you can see it is directly 15 hours from 0 to 15. There is no idle time. So the total is 15 hours. This is considering job 2. So you should consider the time which is used for processing plus the idle time. Your idle time is 3. There is no idle time here. If you want, you can also split this as 15 plus 0. 15 will be processing time and idle time is 0. Your processing time is 12. Idle time is 3 hours. So the total time is always going to be equal, 15 hours. Now we will choose the optimal schedule. So we need to draw that. So I will draw this in the scale of 0. Each unit will indicate 2 centimeter. So here I'll draw 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is 14. This value over here is 15 and this is 16. I need 15. That is the total time. So I'm writing 15 also. So we will draw for job 2 and for job 1. So I will draw in this way. Now the first timing for job 1, A is only 1. So we will draw here till here. This is A. This is 1. Then B has timing 2 hours. So we will go up to 3. So from here, this is 3. So this is B. A and then B. Next I'll mark for C. So when you're drawing for C, the timing is 3. So I will draw 3 now, plus 3. So this is for C. This will go up to 6. Next you have an idle time. If you observe over here, after C, you have an idle time of 3 hours and then starts your D. So I will have to mark again 3 hours. This is going to be up to 9 and then starts your D. So D is going to continue for 5 hours if you look here. So now you will have to mark 5. So that makes it to 14. This entire portion is D. And finally last one is E. So this is time 15. Now when you go for job 2, it starts with C, which is at 3. So this is C, 3. Then A is having 4 hours. So you'll add 4. So this goes up to 7. This is 7. This is A. Next, D is 2 hours. So I will add 2 hours to this. So this goes up to 9. This is D. Then you have E, 1 hour. So here I'll mark 1 hour. This is E. And last, whatever time is remaining 5, that is of B. So I will mark this distance as B. And this ends at 50. So here is the time in hours, and this is a job 1 and 2 sequencing that we have done. So last we will write down what is the optimal sequence for this problem. So I'll write down the optimal sequence is, from the figure we figured out that machine A So we'll write down for machine A, job 1 precedes job 2. So you can see machine A, job 1 will be done first and then it will go for job 2. Next we'll write for machine B. For B, job 1 will again precede job 2 because you are doing first the job 1 then job 2. So here again I'll write down job 1 precedes job 2. Then we'll talk about machine C. For machine C, you can see first it will do job 2 and then it will go to job 1. So here I'll write down job 2 precedes job 1. For machine D, you can see first it is doing job 2 and then job 1. So again I'll write down job 2 precedes job 1, and last for machine E, it will again do job 2 and then job 1. So I'll write job 2 precedes job 1. So this is your optimal sequence of doing the job. So with this I end the session. I hope you have understood the numerical on processing 2 jobs through M machines. In the next session, we will see another numerical on this topic. If you have any doubts, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for latest video updates. See you in the next session. Thank you.